Next distribution is triangular distribution. We'll see with the inverse transform technique with triangular distribution. Okay, for the triangular distribution PDF we know. PDF for this triangle distribution, if the endpoint is 0 comma 2, then f of x is equal to x if 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. Okay, if f of x is equal to 2 minus 1, if 1 less than x less than or equal to 2. Okay, when 1 less than x less than or equal to 2, f of x is equal to 2 minus x. Okay, another case, f of x equal to 0 if these cases are not true. Okay, if x value is not in between the 0 and 1, not in between the 1 and 2, then we f of x is equal to 0 in triangular distribution, right? In triangular distribution PDF, f of x equal to x if 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1, f of x equal to 2 minus 1 if 1 less than x less than or equal to 2, f of x equal to 0, other cases. Okay, now we'll do the inverse transform technique. We'll apply here. Though in that inverse transform technique, first step, what we need to do? First, we need to compute the CDF. CDF equal to capital F of x. And how do we compute? We need to do the derivation for that. Capital F of x, derivation of f of t. Okay, that is minus infinity to x f of t dt is equal to CDF f of x. Now f of x is equal to, we know the f of t values will substitute here. F of t is nothing but f of x value will substitute here. So now f of x value is what? T is 0 when x value is less than or equal to 0. And it is f of x equal to x square by 2 if 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. Okay, f of x equal to 1 minus 2 minus x square by 2 if 1 less than x less than or equal to 2. F of x equal to 1 if x is greater than 2. That is f of x, capital F of x. Okay, now CDF is obtained by substituting this PDF, that is f of x, into this equation, that is f of x equal to minus infinity to x f of x dt. Okay, now in second step, step 2, we do set f of x equal to r. F of x equal to r means r is equal to x square by 2. Okay, so f of x value is what? X square by 2 when if the x value will be in between 0 and 1. Okay, so f of x is equal to r, we will set. Now we will substitute the f of x value. F of x is equal to x square by 2. Now we can write the r value in terms of x like this, that is r equal to 1 minus 2 minus x square by 2, because f of x equal to 0 when x is less than or equal to 0. F of x equal to x square by 2 when x value is 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. Okay, now x value is 1 less than x less than or equal to 2, then f of x value is this 1 minus 2 minus x whole square by 2. So that also if r is equal to 1 minus 2 minus x square by 2. Okay, that we are writing here. Now in step 3, r is equal to x square by 2. If it is x square by 2, when r is equal to x square by 2, that is x value is in between 0 and 1, that is 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. For 0 less than x less than or equal to 1, this x square x value we will find it. It is x square equal to, sorry, r equal to x square by 2. This 2 if we'll send this side, here it is dividing, if it goes here it will multiply. Now x square equal to 2r. Okay, x square if you'll send this side, it will become square root for this. So x is equal to square root of 2r. Okay. Now for x value is in between 1 and 2, that is 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. Now the r is equal to 1 minus 2 minus x whole square by 2. Okay. This we can write it like this. 2 minus x whole square by 2 equal to 1 minus r. We are sending this to this side, this to this side. Okay, r to this side. So, 2 minus x whole square by 2 is equal to 1 minus r. And 2 it is dividing here. If you send this side, it will multiply this. 2 if multiply this, 2 into 1, 2 minus 2 into r, 2r. So, 2 minus x whole square equal to 2 minus 2r. And this whole square, if you send this side, it will become square root. 2 minus x is equal to square root of 2 minus 2r. Okay. Now, if you send 2 this side and square root this side, it will become x is equal to 2 minus square root of 2 into 1 minus r. Because the 2 is common here, we are taking it out. So, 2 into 1 minus r. That is x value. Excuse me. Now, for the triangular distribution, x value we have obtained x equal to square root of 2r when r value is in between 0 and 1 by 2. That is, if 0 less than or equal to r less than or equal to 1 by 2, x equal to square root of 2r. Okay. And then x will be x equal to 2 minus square root of 2 into 1 minus r if 1 by 2 less than r less than or equal to 1. Okay, if the r is in between the 1 by 2 and 1, x is equal to 2 minus square root of 2 into 1 minus r. Understood this? This is triangular distribution. Now we'll see empirical distribution. Here, if modular has been unable to find a theoretical distribution that provides a good model for the input data, then it may be necessary to use the empirical distribution of the data. Okay, one possibility is to simply resemble the observation data itself. Here we'll do the inverse transform technique. In that first step, collect the empirical data and group them accordingly. So first we need to collect the data, whatever data, given input data, that we need to group them in some order. We'll group it and tabulate the frequency and cumulative frequency. We'll write in table, we calculate the frequency and cumulative frequency we will calculate. Next step, assume the value of cumulative frequency as a function of empirical data. That is f of x equal to r. We are setting f of x equal to r in step 3. Next step 4, establish a relationship between r and x. Okay, so we will write the x in terms of r. Okay, so establish the relationship between x and r using linear interpolation. So now the x is equal to inverse of f of r. Okay, that is x equal to fr inverse. Okay, that is equal to x I minus 1 plus ai into r minus I minus 1 by n. Okay, that is when x value is this, when I minus 1 divided by small letter n is less than r less than or equal to I by n. If this is the case, x value is this. That is f in inverse of r value is this. Okay. Now the slope ai will be calculated like this. ai is equal to xi minus 1 divided by I by n minus I minus 1 by n. Okay, using this formula, we can find the ai value. ai is equal to this. If you simplify this equation, we will get ai equal to xi minus xi minus 1 divided by 1 by n. Okay, this is the steps for empirical continuous distribution. We'll solve one problem using this. Here, take down this problem. 5 observations of fire crew response time in minutes. Okay, 5 observations are given. Fire crew response time to incoming alarms are given below. That is 2.76, 1.83, 0.80, 1.45 and 1.24. Generate the random variance from response times distribution. Okay, here we need to generate the random variance from response time distribution. Given the random number 0.71 using empirical continuous distribution. Okay, by using this, assume that random number is 0.71, and using that we empirical continuous distribution we need to do it, compute it here. So here the first step, group the data in sorted manner. Here the data is given like this: 2.76, 1.83, 0.80, 1.45, 1.24. This we will group it in sorted manner. So that if you input data, if you sort it, we will get 0.80, 1.24, 1.45, 1.83, 2.76. Okay. Initially, it will be assumed that the response time x has a range, that is 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to ci, where c is unknown. Okay, so it can be estimated by c cap is equal to max of the input data xi, max of xi set. That is, here the what is the maximum value in this input set, that is 2.76. So we can assume the range is 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2.76 is the range. Okay, so n value is given here 5. Here we have 5 input values. So we are n equal to 5, it is given in the problem. Okay, next we need to tabulate it. That is, the smallest response time is believed to be 0 and maximum response time is 2.76. X value comes in between that 0 and 2.76. We'll now we'll write the table. That is step 2, tabulate the frequency and cumulative frequency. That we will do it now. Here we have n numbers. Okay, and it is I value is 1 to 5. Okay, so we have written the intervals is x I minus 1 less than xi. Okay, xi minus 1 is how much? Xi minus 1 is less than x less than xi. Okay, so here we have the xi values. Okay, xi values are this. This xi values we can write it like this: 0.0 less than x less than 0.80. Okay, this is one interval. Next interval will start from this 0.80 less than x less than 1.24. Next interval will start from this 1.24 less than x less than 1.45. Okay, next interval will start from 1.45 less than x less than 1.83. Next interval will start from this 1.83 less than x less than 2.76. Okay, the x value is in between the range 0 less than x less than or equal to 2.76. Okay, that is the interval range. Now we'll find the probability. Probability is nothing but 1 by n. Okay, because all the numbers are given at a time, so the probability is 1 by n. That is, we have 5 numbers, 5 input data, so it is 1 by 5. 1 by 5 is 0.20. So we'll write probability for all the intervals, it is 0.20 is the probability. Now, if you know the probability, we know how to find the cumulative probability. How to find the first one cumulative probability will be same as probability. Okay, that is 0.20. For next cumulative probability, how do you find the previous probability of previous probability plus present one's probability? Okay, previous one's cumulative probability plus present one probability. We will get cumulative probability for the present interval. Okay, the previous cumulative probability was 0.20 plus present one's probability is 0.20. 0.20 plus 0.20, we will get 0.40. Next 0.40 plus 0.20, we will get 0.60. 0.60 plus 0.20, we will get 0.80. 0.80 plus 0.20, we will get 1.00. So this same thing we can calculate by using I by n also, cumulative probability. Next, slope we need to calculate. That is, slope is equal to AI. AI value, to calculate the AI value, we know the formula. AI value, AI is equal to xi minus 1 divided by 1 by n. Okay, what is the xi value for the interval 1? When I equal to 1, xi, xi value is 0.80 minus xi minus 1 value. Xi minus 1 value is 0.0 divided by 1 by n. 1 by 1 value is 0.20. Okay, so A1 is equal to, when I is equal to 1, A1 is equal to 0.80 minus 0 divided by 0.2, we will get 4.00. So we'll write A equal to 4.00. Now when I equal to 2, this is x2 minus 1. x2 value is what? 1.24 minus x2 minus 1 value is 0.80. Okay, this is xi minus 1 value. That is, xi is equal to 2, I value is equal to 2, then xi value, that is x2 value is 1.24 minus x2 minus 1 value is 0.80. Okay, here xi value xi value minus xi minus 1 value divided by 1 by n. Xi value is 1.24 minus xi minus 1 value is 0.8 divided by 1 by n is 0.2. We will get 2.20. Now we will find for when I equal to 3. When I equal to 3, what is the xi? Xi value is 1.45 minus xi minus 1 is 1.24. 1.45 minus 1.24 divided by 1 by n, that is 0.2. We will get 1.25 as AI value. Next, when I equal to 4, I equal to 4, xi value is 1.83 minus xi minus 1 value is 1.45. So 1.83 minus 1.45 divided by 1 by n. 1 by n value is 0.2. We will get AI value is 1.90. Next, when I equal to 5, what is the xi value? I equal to 5, xi value is 2.76 minus xi minus 1 value is 1.83. 2.76 minus 1.83 divided by 1 by n value, that is 0.2. We will get 4.65. In this way, we need to calculate the AI values, and we'll fill the AI values whatever we have computed here. Okay, after doing this, we need to plot a graph between x and f cap of x. Okay, here x values we know. In between what range the x values are there? 0 to 3. Okay, so we'll mark here 0.51, 1.52, 2.53, like that. Xi values are like this: 0, 1.24. Within the range of 0 to 3 it is there. So we'll mark it on x-axis, the x values. In y-axis, we will take f of x value. F of x values are nothing but our cumulative probability value. that is 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8 and 1. We will mark it on f of x. Okay. Now we need to plot these points. Okay. When x value will be, xi value will be marked, that is 0.8. Okay. 0.8 when that time what is the cumulative probability, that is 0.2. So we'll mark 0.8 comma 0.2. Next xi value is 1.24. From x-axis 1.24, where it will come, 1.24 comes in between 1 and 1.5. Okay, so we'll mark here. And in y-axis, what is the cumulative probability? Cumulative probability is 0.4. Okay, at 0.4 we will mark 1.24. Okay, like this we will put the points here on the graph. Okay, now in the question they have given the random number r1 equal to 0.71 is generated. Okay, then r1 is value is given in the problem as 0.71. Now we need to find where the random number r1 can be, within the what range it will be, we need to find it. Okay, 0.71, it is r1 is seen to be lie between fourth interval, that is between 0.6 and 0.8. Okay, r1 value is given as 0.71, where it will come, 0.71 can come in between the range of 0.6 and 0.8. Okay, so when I equal to 3, that is 3 by 5, that is yeah, I by n value. 3 by 5 we will get 0.6, I equal to 4, 4 by 5 we will get 0.8. This r1 value will be lies between these two range, 0.60 to 0.8, 0.71 will come. Okay, for which one it is near, that is it is near to interval 4. So we will take I equal to 4 here. Okay, so we are marking the r1 value here in this graph also. In graph it will come at 0.71 comes here, and will plot a straight line here, and from there if you draw down it will come here, where it will come, the value should be, x value should be within the range of 1.5 to 2 should come. Okay, we'll see by calculating the x value. Okay, exact x value we will calculate it now by using I equal to 4. Okay, and the inverse CDF is calculated by using the formula x equal to xi minus 1 plus ai into r minus I minus 1 divided by n. Okay, now we know I value is equal to 4 when r1 is equal to 0.71. Okay, I value 4 we need to substitute here, that is x4 minus 1 plus a4 into r value is 0.71 minus I value is 4, so 4 minus 1 divided by n value is 5. Okay, we'll substitute the I value, r value, okay, n value. We will get x 4 minus 3, 4 minus 1 is 3, so it is x3 plus a4 into 0.71 minus 4 minus 1 is 3, 3 by 5. Okay, so it is what is the x3 value, that is third random value, that is 1.45. We'll substitute 1.45 here in place of x3, 1.45. What is the a4 value? A4 value we have calculated here. A4 value is 1.90. We will substitute A4 value 1.90 into 0.71. 3 by 5 value we will get 0.60. So if you compute this, we will get x equal to 1.66. So now we will plot in the graph. R1 value is 0.71. Then what is the x? X value is 1.66. At 1.66, when r is equal to 1, a generated random variant is 1.66. Okay, like this we need to solve the problem. Okay, now we'll see. In the previous example, the data points was less. Okay, if large sample of data is available, then how to generate the random variant, we'll see. Okay, if large sample of data is available, then it might be more convenient to first summarize the data in frequency distribution. Okay, so that for that we use the slope line ai is equal to xi minus 1 divided by ci minus 1. Okay, where ci is the cumulative probability of first ith interval of the frequency distribution, where x I minus 1 is less than x less than xi is the ith interval, and CDF is x equal to xi minus 1 plus ai into r minus ci minus 1. Okay, now using this we'll solve one problem. Suppose that 100 machine repair times has been collected. Okay, here the number of observations is how much? It is 100. N value is 100. Okay, and the data is summarized between the interval in terms of number of observation in various intervals. Data is summarized between in between the different intervals. Okay, suppose it is known that all repairs takes at least 15 minutes, so that x will be x greater than or equal to 0.25 hours always. Okay, suppose the first random number is generated at r1 equal to 0.83. Okay, the first random number generated is r1 is equal to 0.83, and second random number generated is r2 equal to 0.33. Compute the CDF. Okay, here they have given the I value and interval range and frequencies are given. Okay, interval range is 0.25 less than x less than or equal to 0.5. The frequency is 31. For I value is 2, the interval is 0.05 less than x less than or equal to 1.0, frequency is 10. And I value is 3, one interval is 1.0 less than x less than or equal to 1.5, the frequency is 25. And when I equal to 4, the interval is 1.5 less than x less than or equal to 2.0, the frequency is 34. Okay, now we'll tabulate it. Okay, so I values are given as it is, we'll write. The intervals also is given in the problem, we'll write it as it is, and the frequencies are given in the question, we'll copy it as it is. Okay, now the frequencies are given, we know how to find the cumulative relative frequency, that is frequency divided by total frequency. Total frequency, if we'll calculate 31 plus 10 plus 25 plus 34, we will get 100. Okay, the relative frequency will be calculated, relative frequency equal to frequency divided by total frequency. Here the frequency is 31, divided by 100, we will get 0.31. 10 divided by 100 will get 0.10. 25 divided by 100 will get 0.25. 34 divided by 100 will get 0.34. Okay, now we'll find the cumulative probability. How to find the cumulative frequency? If you have the frequency, how to find the cumulative frequency? The first one, the frequency will be the same as cumulative frequency. So we'll write the frequency as it is for the cumulative frequency, that is 0.31. Okay, for next cumulative frequency to calculate, the previous cumulative frequency plus the present one frequency. If we'll add these two, we will get the cumulative frequency for this interval, current interval. Okay, the previous cumulative frequency is 0.31 plus the present frequency is 0.10. 0.31 plus 0.10, we will get 0.41 as the cumulative frequency. 0.41 plus 0.25, we will get 0.25. 0.66 as the cumulative probability, sorry, cumulative frequency. 0.66 plus 0.34, we will get 1.00 is the cumulative frequency, that is CI value. Okay, now we need to find slope AI. To find the slope AI, we know the formula is xi minus 1 divided by cumulative frequency minus, here we have the formula to calculate cumulative frequency minus cumulative frequency minus 1, that is CI minus 1. Okay, what is the CI here for the interval I equal to 1? What is the xi value? Xi value is 0.5 minus xi minus 1 is 0.25 divided by cumulative frequency is how much? 0.31 minus previous cumulative frequency. Previous cumulative frequency was 0 because this itself is the first cumulative frequency. So we will write it Ci minus 1 as 0. So we will get when A1 is equal to 0.81. Okay, now we will calculate A2 as same way. A2 is equal to xi minus 1 divided by Ci minus 1. Okay, xi value is 1.0 minus xi minus 1 value is 0.5 divided by Ci value is 0.41 minus Ci minus 1. The Ci minus 1 means previous cumulative frequency. Here the previous cumulative frequency is 0.31. So we'll write 1.0 minus 0.5 divided by 0.41 minus 0.31. We will get 5. Okay, like that we'll find it when I equal to 3. That time we'll get the slope as 2.0. When I equal to 4, if we'll calculate, we'll get slope as 1.47. After finding the slope values, we need to plot the graph. Okay, on graph, what we need to take in x-axis? We need to take the x values, xi values, that is 0.5, 1.0, 1.5, 2.0. Here the range is between 0 to 2. So 1.5, 1.0, 1.5, 2.5, 2.0 we have taken in the x-axis. Okay, x-axis we have marked with 0 to 2. Okay, because the range of xi values are between 0 and 2. Okay, now f of x value we need to take it from this. F of xi values are here, that is this is cumulative frequency values, which this is in the range of 0 to 1. So we have written like this, marked on the y-axis 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0. Okay, we have taken on y-axis. Now we will map these points. Okay, when x was 0.5, its cumulative probability is 0.31. Okay, that points we will plot it. X was 0.5, its cumulative probability is 3.1. So at 0.5, 3.1, we will put a dot. Okay, next x was 1.0, cumulative probability was 4.1. X was 1.0, cumulative probability is 4.1. Like this we'll mark it and we'll join all the dots. Okay, this the graph comes like this. R1 is given that it is R1 value is given in the problem, it is 0.83. Okay, this R1 will lies between the 0.66 and 1.00. Okay, R1 will be within the range of 0.66 and 1.00. That is, R1 will lies in the range of C3 to C4. Okay, that is C3 less than R1 less than or equal to C4. Okay, so the R1 is nearing to this 1.00. So we R1 is seen to be lying in fourth interval. Okay, C3 less than R1 less than or equal to C4. Okay, see, R1 is less than or equal to C4. So we will take that, we'll assume that R1 seems to be lie in fourth interval. So we'll assign I equal to 4. Okay, and then we'll substitute in the expression to find the x value. Okay, R1 equal to 0.83, I value equal to 4. Now x1 value, x1 is equal to x I minus 1 plus ai into R1 minus ci minus 1. This is the formula to find the x value. Okay, we'll substitute the I value is equal to 4 and R1 value and ci values here. Okay, so x I value, if you substitute here, x 4 minus 1, it is 3. So it will become x3 plus ai value. I value is 4. If you substitute here, it is a4. It will become a4 into R1 minus ci minus 1. I value is given, I value is 4. Okay, so I value we are substituting here, C4 minus 1, that is C3. It will become C3. This is R1, A4, and this is X3. So now we'll substitute the X3 value. What is the X3 value? X3 value is 1.5. So we'll substitute here in X3 place 1.5 plus A4 value, that is slope 4 value. A4 value we have computed it, we got 1.47. We will substitute that A4 value 1.47 here. Okay, into R1. R1 value is given in the problem, that is 0.83. We'll substitute 0.83 minus C4 minus 1 means C3. What is the C3 value? C3 value is 0.66. So we'll substitute 0.66 here. If we'll calculate this value, we will get x1 is equal to 1.75. Okay, x1 value we will get 1.75. Okay, now in this problem they have asked us to calculate x value when second random number is generated is R2 is equal to 0.33. Second generated random number R2 is equal to 0.33. What is the CDF they have asked us to calculate? Okay, so second random number they have given in the problem, it is 0.33. 0.33 comes in what range here? 0.33 comes in between the range of C1 and C2, right? C1 is 0.31 and C2 is 0.41. In between the R1 will comes in between the C1 and C2. That is in between 0.31 and 0.41. That is always the C1 is less than R1, less than or equal to C2. Okay, so we need to assume I equal to 2. We'll assume it that R2 is seem to be lie in second interval. Okay, so it is C1 is 0.31 and C2 is 0.41. R1 lies between the 0.31. R1 value is 0.33. 0.33 comes in between the range of 0.31 and 0.41. 0.31 is C1, 0.41 is C2. Okay, so always this will be C1 less than R2 less than or equal to C2. Okay, so R2 is less than or equal to C2. So C2, what interval the C2 comes? It comes when I equal to 2. So we'll assume that R2 is seen to be lie in second interval. Okay, that is I equal to 2. We'll initialize I equal to 2. R2 is equal to 0.33. Now we'll find the x2 value. Okay, x2 is equal to x I minus 1 plus ai into R2 minus ci minus 1. Okay, we'll substitute in I place 2. That is x2 minus 1 that is 2 minus 1 is x1 plus ai value is 2, so it is a2 into r2. R2 value is given in the problem, minus ci minus 1, I value is 2, so c2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, we'll substitute the x1 value. One value is given in the problem is 0.5. Okay, we'll substitute the x1 value 0.5 here. Okay, what is the a2 value we have computed? A2 value we have computed is 5.0. Okay, we will substitute 5.0 here. Okay, into R2 value given in the problem is 0.3. We will substitute R2 value 0.3 minus C1 value. What is the C1 value we have computed here? The C1 value is 0.31. So we'll substitute 0.31 here. If we'll calculate this, we will get x2 is equal to 0.6. Okay, like this we need to compute the CDF when they give R1 and R2. Okay, they will give you the random number and they will ask us to compute CDF.